Let me ask you something that nobody in personal finance ever actually asks. How much is enough? Not how much do you want, not how much would be nice, not the fantasy number you'd pick if someone handed you a blank check. How much do you actually, specifically need to feel financially free? If you hesitated just now, if the honest answer is that you don't really know, then I need you to understand something important. That hesitation is not harmless. That vague, undefined feeling of more, that quiet sense that you just need a little bit more than whatever you currently have, that is one of the most expensive psychological traps in modern life. And today, we are going to close it permanently. By the end of this video, you will have a specific number, not a guess, not a range, a real, calculated, personal figure that tells you exactly what financial freedom costs in your actual life. Most people spend 40 years chasing a finish line they never bothered to draw. Today, you draw the line. I want to tell you about a pattern I find genuinely fascinating. Studies consistently show that regardless of income level, whether someone earns $40,000 a year or $400,000 a year, the majority of people report that they would feel financially comfortable if they just earned about 20% more than they currently do. Read that again. The person earning $40,000 thinks $48,000 would fix things. The person earning $400,000 thinks $480,000 would fix things. The percentage stays almost identical across every income bracket, which means the target is not a number, it is a feeling. And feelings, unlike numbers, cannot be reached. They move the moment you get close. This is what economists call the hedonic treadmill. And it is the reason why people who genuinely earn more than their parents ever did still feel financially stuck, still feel like they are just one raise away from real security, still feel like enough is always slightly ahead of wherever they currently stand. But here is the part nobody tells you. The treadmill does not turn off by itself. You have to step off it deliberately. And the only way to step off it, the only mechanism that actually works, is to define the destination before you start running. That definition has a name, and it is the most important number you will ever calculate. Now, before I show you exactly how to calculate it, I need to explain why this number feels so uncomfortable to define. Because here is something interesting. Most people actively resist calculating this number. Not because it is complicated, not because they lack the information, but because defining enough feels like giving up, like capping your ambition, like telling the universe you are not hungry anymore. And that resistance, that instinct to keep the goalpost vague, is not ambition. It is fear dressed up as ambition. Because here's the truth that the most quietly wealthy people already understand. Defining enough is not the end of ambition. It is the beginning of freedom. When you do not have a number, every dollar you earn disappears into a vague, bottomless goal called more. When you have a number, every dollar either moves you toward it or it does not. The clarity is not limiting. The clarity is the entire point. So let me show you how to calculate yours. The enough number is built from 3 layers. Each one is simple. Together, they form a picture of your life that most financial advice never bothers to create. Layer 1, your monthly freedom number. This is not your current monthly spending. This is your designed monthly spending. The amount that covers the life you actually want, not the life you are currently performing for other people. So here is the exercise. Take a blank page, write down every genuine monthly expense in your ideal but realistic life. Housing, food, transport, health, leisure, the things that actually matter to you. Stripped of status, stripped of comparison, stripped of what you think your lifestyle should look like. Most people who do this honestly discover that their real number is significantly lower than their current spending, because a meaningful chunk of what most people spend every month is not funding their life. It is funding their image. Once you have that monthly number, multiply it by 12. That is your annual freedom number. Layer 2, the enough number itself. Now here is where the mathematics becomes genuinely powerful. Take your annual freedom number and multiply it by 25. That number, that single figure, is your enough number. The amount that, invested in a diversified portfolio, generates your annual freedom number indefinitely, without you ever working again if you choose not to. This calculation comes from one of the most robust findings in personal finance research, the principle that a well-structured portfolio can sustain a 4% annual withdrawal rate essentially forever. Multiply your annual need by 25 and you get the portfolio size that funds it permanently. So if your honest monthly freedom number is $3,000, your annual number is $36,000, and your enough number is $900,000. Not $1 million, not some vague be a millionaire aspiration. $900,000, a specific target with a specific meaning. And here is the part that changes everything. That number is not as far away as it feels right now, because you are not going to save your way there. You are going to build your way there, using time and compounding as your primary tools, not just income. Layer 3, your freedom horizon. This is the layer that makes the enough number feel real instead of theoretical. Take your current savings and investments, everything you have already built. Calculate how many days you could sustain your designed lifestyle without earning a single dollar. That number, measured in days, not dollars, is your freedom horizon. If you have $9,000 saved and your designed monthly spend is $3,000, your freedom horizon is 90 days, 3 months of genuine financial runway. Now, here is why this metric matters more than net worth. Net worth is an abstract number. It does not tell you anything visceral about your actual freedom. But 90 days? That you can feel. That means if everything stopped tomorrow, you have 90 days of breathing room before anything gets serious. Most people have never calculated this number, and most people, if they did, would find it uncomfortably small. But the point is not to feel bad about where you are. The point is to understand what you are actually building toward, so every financial decision you make from this day forward has a direction. Let me bring this back to something concrete. Marcus never calculated his enough number. Not because he was lazy, but because nobody ever told him it was something worth calculating. So for 15 years, he chased a feeling. Every raise felt good for about 3 months, and then quietly became the new normal. Every upgrade felt like progress, and then quietly became a baseline. At 42, he earns more than he ever imagined at 25, and he still feels like he is slightly behind. Dana calculated her enough number at 27, sat down one evening with a notebook and worked through all 3 layers. Her number was $820,000. Her freedom horizon at the time was 34 days. She did not feel defeated by those numbers. She felt oriented. For the first time, she was not chasing a feeling, she was closing a gap, a real, measurable, shrinking gap. Today, her freedom horizon is over 400 days. Her portfolio is tracking toward her enough number on schedule. She did not earn more than Marcus. She simply knew where she was going. Here is what I want you to do tonight, not this week, tonight. Calculate your 3 numbers. First, your honest monthly freedom number. Not your current spending, your designed spending. What does your real life actually cost, stripped of performance and comparison? Second, multiply by 12 for your annual freedom number. Then multiply that by 25 for your enough number. Write it down, give it a name, make it real. Third, calculate your freedom horizon. Divide your current savings by your monthly freedom number. The result is the number of months you are currently free. Multiply by 30 for days. Those 3 numbers will tell you more about your financial reality than any budget ever could. They will also show you something that most people in finance never experience. A finish line. Not a moving target, not a feeling, a real, specific, personal finish line drawn by you, for you, based on your actual life. And every single financial decision you make from this moment forward will either move you toward that line or away from it. The clarity alone is worth more than any savings hack or investment tip you will ever find. You now know your enough number. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Now that you have the destination, the next question is the route. Because knowing your enough number and knowing how to actually build toward it on your current income are 2 very different things. The next video breaks down exactly how to build real wealth, even if your income feels too low to matter right now. No side hustles, no get rich quick. Just the honest, unglamorous system that actually works at every income level. Drop your enough number in the comments below. I genuinely want to see what you calculated, and I will see you in the next one.